Hi, everybody, and welcome to the February 16th Ampleforth office hours. This is Matt Coolidge. Unfortunately, I will not be able to join live today, but did want to run through a couple of timely updates before we open up the floor with the larger core contributor team and have the Ask Us Anything session. So this will follow the standard format that we've had in place this year so far. First and foremost, want to run through some recent highlights from the Ampleverse, and I'll come back to that specific term in a moment because it is quite relevant here. We'll look ahead to a couple of upcoming highlights, and then we will again open things up for the AMA. So a couple of recent milestones to call out just in the community. First and foremost, there's been a lot happening within the Avalanche ecosystem still. The AMPL and PNG dual rewards are not yet live, but will be very soon. Stay up to speed on the latest and greatest at ampleforth.org/geyser. There is also already the incentivized AMPL AVAX farm on Trader Joe, as well as Pangolin. So lots happening again on Avalanche. Another really exciting recent moment for the community was the approval of the AMPL MRTG, the meter gas token swap. 50,000 tokens went either way. The biggest significance for this, if you are a meter holder, is it reduces the cost of cross-chain swaps by up to 80%. There's a lot of new opportunities on there for meter holders as well. So big development here. And as always, lots more happening in the near future with L1 and L2 integrations. Shifting gears, also want to recognize the newest member of the core contributor team. Nick Sclafani has joined from Google, where he worked as an engineer, and he'll be working very closely with Brandon, Nitin, Evan, and the whole team. So welcome, Nick. Very excited to have you here. Finally, wanted to just share an update on the marketing campaign that we started to talk about last time, and really operationalizing this process for Ampleforth and looking to put more effort behind this as we continue to grow, experience great momentum, and just recognize the opportunity to connect with even more people and bring them into this community. So we're running right now with the theme of welcome to the Ampleverse, for better or for worse. And by and large, it's been better. Ampleforth has always been associated first and foremost with Ample. Make no mistake, Ample is and remains the beating heart of the Ample ecosystem. But constantly focusing on that, I think sometimes obscures just the significance and growing momentum with things like Forth, with AMPL, with Wrapped Ample, with a lot more similar projects that are coming in the near future. So you'll increasingly notice from Ampleforth channels, we're going to be talking about the Ampleverse at large to really convey and underscore the fact that there's a massive community at play here. Ample is a major part of it, but is not the extent of it. So as we've talked about before, the main goal here is to grow the ecosystem. You may have noticed on Twitter, Instagram, other channels, we're starting to put more paid campaigns out there. So don't be surprised to see more from Ampleforth. Even in the 2 weeks or so that we've really been pushing this, we've been seeing great growth. Our Twitter following is up by about 1,000. We're just about 37,000 followers now. Seeing really great growth, in parallel on other channels, and just more activity on Discord, on Reddit. So look forward to keeping that up. More and more, we are putting out a lot of very accessible visual explainers that are focused on what we would think of as top of the funnel or new to Ampleforth folks. So lots of short videos. Those tend to be the most popular items on Twitter in particular, just the visuals. We are designing a lot more graphics to really kind of visualize what we mean when we talk about the Ampleforth as well, Ampleverse as well. This is one that's just kind of a sneak preview of something that we're going to start pushing heavily across social channels, and ideally have a feature on the website for it too. As I mentioned before, we want to make clear that Ampleforth, Wrapped Ample, and AMPL are major components of this ecosystem, but that it's also always growing. Ample everywhere refers to just this growing volume of L1 and L2 integrations, and there's a really exciting pipeline, of developments happening there, even beyond what's been rolled out recently. Similarly, there's just a lot more happening on the DeFi front. We have really exciting things in the work with Banky. We've talked a lot about balanced pools. There are some other very exciting developments that are teased at here that we can't quite get into, but look out for major updates on that front soon. So shifting gears, and we'll continue to keep you posted on just the growth of this marketing campaign and progress. Looking ahead, just want to nod to first and foremost the great ideas that are being posted by this community about AIP5. There's a lot happening on that front, and really getting exciting and starting to put a lot more into what that's going to look like. If you're not already actively partaking and want to share thoughts on what AIP5 could look like, be sure to go to forum.ampleforth.org. In that same spirit, we are T-minus 60 days, I think almost exactly. Though, as I frequently say, I'm not a math guy, but about 60 days out from April 16th That is when the unclaimed Forth will go to the community of Forth holders. And on day one, it's already going to be one of the 50 largest DAOs in the world, which is a really exciting milestone. There's going to be a lot more that we have to share around that and some major updates that are going to happen just about in parallel with that. But this is going to be a big moment for this project, and definitely look to this core contributor group to share more assets leading up to that. We really want to help get the word out about this to convey the significance and just really celebrate the formation of what we think is going to be, one of the most exciting and influential DAOs out there. One other fun announcement, just an open call for this community. Are you A, an Ample head, and B, a League of Legends player? If so, we would love to talk to you. Some of you might already be aware of this, but for those who are not, Ampleforth is going to be participating in a League of Legends tournament with a number of other top DeFi projects in the coming weeks. It is a completely community-driven event. We're going to be sourcing members from the community. There's a lot of fun prizes involved. If you're interested in playing and helping us realize League of Legends domination, please drop us a line. The best place to do that beyond just Discord, tagging Simon or I, is to email the AMPLitheater at ampleforth.org address, but just let us know and we will find you. Hope to hear from you there. And then finally, our core contributor team is still growing, always growing. Any and all talent is welcome. To see the open roles right now, go to ampleforth.org/careers. That's it from me. Let's turn things over to Simon and the larger team and have a great Ask Us Anything.
Awesome. There we have it. I think from here, it's going to just be smooth sailing. Obviously, a bullet point list of what Matt just covered for things that we can talk about, but you guys know the drill. If you have any questions or anything you want to chat about, raise your hand and we'll give you preference. You can hop up, request to speak, and we'll take those voice questions. Otherwise, I'll be keeping an eye on the text channel because I know a lot of you guys like to ask questions through there. So I'll just wait for a couple of those, and yeah, let's start it up. Before questions come in, I think maybe we can talk about one of my favorite things, which is the countdown to the fourth DAO. So that's in 59 days. I think you guys all know there's been a 1-year claim period for when Forth went live into the world, and everyone still has about 59 days left. If they interacted with the Ample ecosystem, they can have that opportunity to go ahead and claim their Forth. But there's something that needs to happen with that unclaimed Forth. And what is the plan right now, because that'll be under the control of Forth voters, is it will just become under the control of Forth voters on that day, April 16th. And you can keep tabs of the dollar amounts and the amount of Forth on Etherscan, and it's pretty exciting. This will be no small DAO, and I think quite cool to keep an eye on. And I know a lot of you guys do hold Forth and have participated in the recent votes, so keep an eye on that. Seen a few questions coming in here. Sunbreather said, with hiring more engineers, does that mean the Ample team is working on more products or just need help spreading Ample around chains and making more geysers? That's a good one. Brandon, Evan, you guys probably have 2 different things to offer on that.
Hey, sure. Yeah, I think the answer is both, really. This will give us a chance to continue doing what we've already been doing, but also allow us to build out more, which I think we're all maybe even more excited about right now, building out. I think we lost Brandon for a second there, but I would echo what he said, and the answer is both. I think overall, there are just a bunch of things that we're excited about. I think Nestor asked, what are you guys working on that you're most excited about? And I tend to go back to kind of these 4 pillars, at least internally. So, one is obviously WAMPL and the coming centralized exchange liquidity, not just for wrapped Ample, but for rebase tokens at large. And the second is, we're working with a number of cool market makers and bringing them on board to kind of increase liquidity across the board. And then third is, kind of a game-changing product initiative. So these are kind of just high-level goals that, we've been articulating internally this whole time. And so, Nick will definitely be roped into what I think is going to be a game-changing product initiative, and we'll share more about that as soon as it's available. And then lastly, the fourth pillar with Matt and some of the marketing work we're doing is just kind of this initiative of creating an always-on marketing machine. And you'll see that we're making kind of steady progress on that vector as well.
Nice, thanks for that. I think I saw Nick in here, but I'm not sure. But someone did ask, where was this question? It said, what made you interested in joining the team in the crypto space from Google? Always a good question, but we can. It looks like you're hopped up. Do you want to take that one, Nick?
Sure, I can chime in with my 2 cents. I would just, point out 2 things. One, obviously, a lot of you, for the same reason you're interested in, it's like one of the coolest products in crypto right now. I really got red booked when I read the red book, and pretty excited about it. And 2, it's just a small and strong team with honestly, there's just such high conviction for the product.
I like that red booked.
It's true. Actually, I see a lot of the core contributing folks here in the audience, and a great many of them have been red booked.
Kind of makes me wonder what it means to be blue booked. I think there is a blue book. It's like a classic jazz musician's handbook.
That's cool. Red booked is meme worthy. Carpe. I'm not seeing a ton of other questions really rolling in. I like the videos that Matt. Well, it won't be a video every week, but this week he had to step out. It sort of gives a nice, succinct update of what's happening. So guys, take a peek at that. Okay, we did get another question from Merkle Plant. Last AMA, Brandon states that the team's oracle only includes ample price from ETH mainnet. Is that true for Teller and Chainlink too? If not, is this something that should be changed? Keeping in mind the recent meter outage and price divergence on Avalanche.
Yeah, great question, Pascal, and thanks for bringing it back up. I right after writing that message in that AMA, I also edited saying that we needed to confirm about the Chainlink and Teller oracles. I don't yet have that answer. Ahmed is the subject expert there, so I'll follow up and I'll get that because it's a very important one. I think if we were to design it how we want it to operate, then it should not take price data from markets that are on other chains. So that's how I think it should work.
Cool.
Hopefully that answered the question. But yeah, I'll try and get the answer as soon as I can.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon. Solomon, I had a question for you, and it said, is Ampleforth set up to raise further rounds of funding, for instance, the series A, B, C, etc.? Thanks. Is that a better Evan question?
Yeah, I can crack at that. Historically, we raised a Series Seed equity round, and that's pretty much it. I think if an investor wanted to invest in, a C corporation, we could raise additional rounds of financing that way. Alternatively, the foundation could do an OTC deal with any investor who just wanted to take a position on a simple trade like that, and it could be drafted with vesting. So the options are on the table, but at the moment, we have not been looking into additional rounds of traditional financing. I think once the asset is liquid, the way Ample is, it's kind of like it's a real-time market, and you just want to grow liquidity as much as possible and form longer-lived strategic partnerships with major players. But it doesn't have to be like an ABC round like structure. It can just be drafted as like a sale with some sort of trigger or with a vesting. I don't know if that answers your question, but it's pretty flexible.
Cool. Next question was from SPB Crank. He said, what will actually happen with the unclaimed fourth in 60 days and what percentage is not claimed? So I'll give a quick answer and then Brandon, maybe you can just talk about what technically happens at that time. But the quick answer of the percentage unclaimed, the last I checked, it was about 23.8% of all fourth in existence has been unclaimed. You can find that on Etherscan. You can start to search through the fourth token itself, and then you can just click around and figure things out. It looks like Fiddlekin's actually flipped a Dune link, Dune Analytics, which would be actually even easier if you're not that inclined to kick it around on Etherscan. Do you want to? There's also inflation that comes after that, so there's a lot of other steps. But Brandon, do you want to just talk about the claiming of that for a moment?
Sure, definitely. So the short answer is that the tokens get given control of to the fourth DAO. The way that works is there's just a rescue function that claims whatever token there and then transfers them to a particular address. They'll be transferred to the time lock. So this is the governance time lock for owns all the components of the Ampleforth ecosystem, which means that it's controllable through the governor, which is what runs the fourth votes. So in order for tokens to or change hands or out of lock, it only happen through an on-chain vote. So that's how the fourth token holders control the deployment of those funds. Now, how they're deployed, that's up to us as side. There is some active discussion already on forums. So if you are curious about the ideas, turn around and check those out. I think some people have thrown out ideas like burning them. People have thrown out ideas token swaps to other projects. I think the way I would encourage everyone to approach it, this is a pool of funds that we can use to invest to grow it. How can we most efficiently use those funds to facilitate long-term growth? So I think that's the perspective I come from. I like it also the project helps relationships, ties,
Brandon,
strong ways that are good for both players. Can you still hear me?
I can. Yeah, you were breaking up just a touch. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I can.
Hopefully you got all that.
Yeah, I did. I could paraphrase. I could paraphrase some of that as well. And we can also revisit it another time. But yeah, I would say one of the things Brandon said was to check out the biggest kind of points there were one, fourth is in control of the fourth holders. And at the moment, there's about 22,600 fourth holders. So that's a pretty good spread of folks who are in control of this when it comes out. And the other thing I would say is he was talking about the actions that can be taken and like it's up to fourth voters what actions they take, but there are ones that are flash in the pan sort of one-time events, such as like a burn. And there are other events like he's talking about that are more, can help the ecosystem in a more sustained or perpetual rate, which could be, I think he was mentioning token swaps, for example, with other projects, and actually a great number of other ideas as well. And the community here has been surfacing a lot of ideas. Number one, there's a Miro board that's completely community driven that you can check out. There's a link to that in the Discord and the resources page. You can get in there, throw your ideas up, see what other people are thinking. And the other is some really good discussions in the Ampleforth governance forum itself. And that's a really good place to bring some of the more solid ideas. We're getting slightly tight on time, so let me get back to the questions. Yeah, there's quite a few actually. So one is more technical. How does the fourth inflation work? Maybe we can skip that one for today because we don't have a ton of time. Merkle Plant had a follow-up question on the oracles. what do you think about whether the fourth DAO should acquire ample USD liquidity to make sure that ETH mainnet price is always composed of the most liquidity?
Yeah, I like that idea myself. People in the core contributor group also like that idea. I think there are two components to that. One is, so it ensures some amount of liquidity that's out there in the ecosystem that's there because it's controlled by the protocol itself. Almost more importantly, though, is the idea that the fourth DAO holds some position in Ample, because then that ties the values of the fourth token and the Ample token together more concretely. So I think that part maybe even more than just having, because there's already a good amount of liquidity out in already. So I'm less worried about tying the values together.
Thanks, Brandon. Regular Rammer 9 said, is there a timeline on when the AIP5 vote will be taking place? Take a quick stab at it, Brandon, or you got it. Go ahead.
Sure, yeah. So there's no set timeline. So the guidelines put in place around the governance system is that you kind of know it when you see it. When productive conversation has sort of come to an end, then, and if there's a perceived level of support, then you can go forward. So it's just like a series of actually discussions, Discord discussions on forum, snapshot vote, and on-chain binding vote. So no set timeline there. There's no reason to let it linger for longer than necessary because we want the project forward. Really cool seeing all the discussion around the AIP5 project. So that's been really, I'd love to geek out on all those ideas, but I don't want to get pulled into too deep of a rabbit hole there. But there's cool thoughts and actions, especially shout out to GS and Kenny Bainbridge and others that joined for, but it's been really cool to see those ideas come through.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just off the top of my head, the stuff that Duck's put out has been really quality.
Duck as well.
Yeah, Duck for sure, and Merkle Plant. So yeah, thanks for doing that. And it does feel like that conversation is still in process. I chime in, or at least like view it every day, and I see some more perspectives being added. This is non-trivial, this specific action. So yeah, it's worth everyone putting some good thought into. I think that's it for the questions. So yeah, this is a fun one. I'm glad that we had the updates up front with the with Matt chiming in. I don't see anything else coming in, so we'll look forward to doing this again. We may have a guest next week. Meter may be coming in, and that'll be a text-based office hour. So we're looking forward to chatting with them. I think that's also relevant because of the most recent snapshot vote of the token exchange. So we probably have a few questions on that front as far as when things go live, et cetera. But thanks for joining, everybody, and we're looking forward to the next session. Take it easy.